Hey, welcome to the Tim and Gugabe podcast. This is your host, Tim. Gugabe, how are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Bit late notice this week, but well, tricky with that sort of density of cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about Ige versus Kattar, and somebody has to.
Yeah, it's we're coming down to the wire, but we're gonna get this out for you guys. But because it's such a shitty card, let's recap 251. We just start from the bottom. We'll go through pretty quick. Grant Day. I after I taped and researched, I kind of thought like Grant was the value side, but yeah, I don't know. It just kind of I figured it would kind of be a back and forth type of fight.
Yeah, I didn't end up playing Grant, but my pre-fight for like plus 150 was I probably think Grant's the side in the coin flip because I felt Day's grappling was a liability. If
Yeah,
I knew Grant was going to outstrike him like that, I would have played Grant because like that really didn't give Day much of a winning condition at all.
it was
But
almost like an Emmett thing with Grant because he actually had good distance striking numbers. It was just he never had like if he got drawn into a volume fight, you didn't really know what you were gonna get, but like it looked like he was able to, kind of like randomly Emmett Burgos recently. That kind of same phenomenon happened.
I was more like I felt that a lot of David Grant's success in striking output was due to the way he fights. So he fights varies all outside, so it's like he won't
Yeah,
get hit much, but he also won't
yeah,
land much.
yeah,
Like, let me just check most of his like career striking numbers come from Stasiak and Vera, who are both like massive defensive liabilities.
true. Yeah, for sure. Like he just usually kind of limits exchanges, and even like Emmett kind of limits exchanges and will land big shots. Where I just thought like I didn't know if he could land more than other people if a pace was pushed and it became high volume, but I mean he was able to. So,
Yeah, my feeling was
go on.
my very feeling was kind of like if this ends up on the feet, Day probably does more than him. But and like I thought a Grant win condition would be more grappling related, but Grant just like put up a lot more volume than was reasonably expected. But
Yeah,
like Grant versus Vera, he put up even then he only put up 109 strikes, and he must have put up way more than that this fight.
yeah,
Like he fucking came for them this fight. Yeah, he put up more. He put up more than he did again. He put up another 50% he did on Vera in 80% of the time. So again, just his volume was higher than expected, really.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's all we need to say. Melo, Rosa, who cares? Paiva, Zumagulov, close fight, scrappy, kind of. I just thought
Yeah,
it was close.
yeah, I'd agree. I'm kind of surprised the amount of people are bitching about Zumagulov not getting the decision. Like, I was watching it and we're in our Discord and nobody was like, everybody was kind of just like close but clear five. I was surprised we haven't made decisions at such a strong Zumagulov lane. Any thoughts
Was
on
that
that?
a thing people thought Zumagulov won?
Yeah, he won like 90% of the cards on them made decisions.
Oh shit, he did. I thought Paiva had won, but I thought it was very close. Like I didn't give a fuck who won. Like I thought it was fine. Um,
Yeah,
I
like
didn't.
for
I just thought it was like probably going to be a split decision, but I didn't really have strong opinions.
yeah,
Uh,
I added a little bit of Piver round three because it was like plus 170 in round three, and I thought it was just like I thought Piver. Yeah, it was close, but I thought Piver had done enough to win clearly. But no, the media seemed to disagree. So
yeah, like Zamagulov landed more, but I thought Paiva landed like a few kind of harder shots occasionally, but it was close. I kind of just would have been fine with either one winning.
yeah, like
It just
personal bias, I'd rather have the plus 140 win a split decision, win a close decision than the minus 150, just because gambling. But yeah, whatever.
oh yeah. I would have kind of hoped the Zumagulov betters would have cashed because they probably made a better play, but like yeah, I just thought it was close. No strong opinions. The What was the next one?
Type your
Tabora
aggression.
Grishin. A lot of people were playing Grishin, and I was just like, I don't know. He just kind of just stands there and throws strikes occasionally, and that's his skill set. Um, but yeah, like Tabora just out grappled him. I'm glad Tabora kind of rebounded and got a couple wins because he looked really concerning for a few fights in a row.
Yeah, like that Shamil loss, he just looked unwell, like physically unhealthy.
Like, and that's not even. It's just like the way he was moving his body in that fight. It's like I don't know. It was so strange.
Yeah,
Um,
like, He looked drunk. It just that was like, people. I remember live people were like, has he been poisoned or something?
Yeah, like I don't know, like he didn't even attempt any takedowns in that fight. He was just like not landing any strikes or head strikes or anything. It was just really weird, but I don't know. Yeah, like size played a factor in this fight for sure.
Yeah, I thought Grisham would do a little bit more to get. Grisham's never been high urgency, but against like Johnson and all that, he kind of capitalized when he had opportunities. Oh, here it
Yeah.
felt like the last 2 rounds, like Tibura was not looking particularly fit. The Grisham just kind of didn't take many opportunities, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. The funniest fight of the night, Santos and Bogotov. Fucking like, I mean, the first 2 rounds, Santos was just like clearly better and kind of just was fine. And then he literally almost lost because he gassed himself out so bad from like I'm pretty sure Bogotov was unconscious multiple times in that beatdown. And I feel like Santos was like knocking him back into consciousness. Like it was such a strange sequence. Holy shit.
Particularly annoying 'cause it's like Santos, very high level jiu-jitsu. The neck was there the entire time.
Yeah.
Just take the fucking rear naked choke. Like, you're not gonna fuck it up and you're not gonna gas yourself.
Yeah, even if you get hooks in and you don't get the finish, at least you're not fucking trying to kill the man and gas yourself out, you know? It's just like, because dude, when they didn't stop, I didn't play this, but I did like let people know who I give write ups to that, like if you want to be a little more risky, I think Santos is fine. So I was kind of hoping he would win, but when that happened, I was like, fuck. Like he might die and get 10-8'd in round 3. But yeah, that was just a strange, and like Bogotov fouled him like 9 times, and yeah, that was just a weird fight.
Yeah, I played Santos RTD in sub, so I was a little bit annoyed at the KO, but also I was like, this serves you right for not going for the sub, you fucker.
Yeah, it was fucking insane. It was such a funny fight.
Honestly, as far as non-subs are concerned, it reminded me of Anthony Smith versus Glover. And I was just like, Glover, why haven't you tapped him?
Yeah, yeah,
Like, he had a solid 8 minutes just ground and pounding. It's like, I'm pretty sure you can get the sub here. You should be good enough.
yeah, and yeah, that was just it was just strange. I just don't get why he continued to go for the kill like that. Like, it's like just minimize your chances of gassing yourself out, you know? Like you're up so big already in the fight. You pretty much just don't you just need to be able to defend yourself the rest of the fight, you know? And you're fine. But yeah, that
Well,
was ridiculous.
I'm sure his logic was the ref is going to step in at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, at the same time, I guess we are being a little hard on him because honestly, they should have stopped it, I feel. He
Yeah,
was
he did
beating the
enough.
fuck out of him. Yeah.
It reminded me of remember Magny versus Lombard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, Lombard did more than enough for KO.
Yeah. That was yeah, that was like that was the first round, right?
Yeah, like there's a bit where Magny falls flat in his face while running away from Lombard, and I'm like, it should have been stopped there. But Magny just puts like 300 strikes in him over the next 2 rounds because Lombard dies.
Yeah.
Great fight.
I just that was such a fucking yeah, this was just a weird fight. But
Just annoying how much KO volatility can affect. Like, yeah, even like Overeem versus Harris.
yeah.
If Overeem versus Harris had the referee come in with like a view to stopping quickly, that's a Harris win. Since the guy felt like letting it run, it was an Overeem win.
Yeah.
I don't know, is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Next fight was Henry Americani. Honestly, I kind of just expected this. I was a little worried if that first round, like I didn't play Americani, but I leaned him. But I was a little worried if that first round submission didn't come, how the fight would play out. But Americani's a legit grappler. I feel like people kind of give him too much shit sometimes. Like he has his volume issues on the feet for sure, and that was kind of happening in the first couple minutes. But he kind of always does that every fight. He just will not do anything for a minute or two, and he just times his takedown like midway through the round to then kind of finish off well. And yeah, I don't know. Like he was a way better grappler. What do you think?
It's kind of the issue with Mikani. He's very 100 or 0. Like, you rarely ever see him just, like, putting up moderate volume.
Never volume. That's his issue, man. I guess he's just conserving energy.
Yeah, it's like Tyron Woodley sort of style, I guess. Nice sub. I got him at minus 140 early in the week, so I just like saw forward the future forward lines, and I was like, why is Miyakani minus 140 against? I don't mind Danny Henry, but he's not really UFC level. And like Miyakani is
No.
kind of in that top 20 niche. Like, just without tape, I'm just like top 20 featherweight is minus 140 against marginal UFC featherweight.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, but there are kind of levels. Like, Miyakani obviously has his big holes in the form of his cardio and his volume, but like it's just
and he's got one really good skill set. Like that's gonna beat most of the bottom tier, you know. Because I mean, he can grapple. Like he can grapple his ass off. I mean, didn't he almost beat Arnold Allen by just like grappling him for 3 rounds?
Yeah, he
like,
always beat.
Yeah.
That was just like came down to one reversal in round 3, pretty much.
Yeah, it was a split decision. I mean, he's legit. Burgos is just really hard to grapple.
Didn't he almost tap Burgos?
He had
like a decent front headlock of some sort.
Yeah, he had a good first round, and like Burgos only had let up 1 takedown in his entire career to that point, and I think his takedown defense going into that fight was like 92% or something. I mean, he's just really that's just a bad style matchup for Amir Khani. But Amir Khani can grapple like a lot of people, you know. But yeah, it's just like these bottom tier guys, as long as he goes to his game, he should be fine. But enough guys can stop takedowns enough to where he's kind of fucked on the feet, you know? But yeah, good for him. The next fight, Salikov, Santos, it was just kind of whatever, split decision-y type of shit. 30-27 kind of seemed weird because round 1 was like even, and then Zaleski got a knockdown, if I remember correctly. So I was pretty surprised Salikov got that round. But I thought it was like pretty close. What do you think?
I had nothing on it, but that was probably one of the worst decisions of the year, just because like Zaleski had hurt him in round 1. Like the minutes were very tight, but like Zaleski had the biggest moment in round 1 and the biggest moment in round 2 by a massive margin. So it's just like, I just don't see how you give it Salikov. Like, I think if you rerun it 100 times, it's probably more or less a split decision, but it's like Barboza Ige in my book.
Yeah, the knockdown.
Well, like, pretty much. Like, I'm not going to say, I think if you rerun Barboza Ige 1,000 times, you probably get I think Ige probably wins more than he loses. But the actual iteration we got should have gone to Barboza.
Agreed.
That's kind of my view of this. Like, Salikov 30-27 is insane, and like, even 29-28, it's like, Zaleski did hurt Salikov in round 2, and Salikov didn't really do much. And
did he hurt in round 2? I remember
Yeah.
round 1. Sorry, the fight ended up being very boring to where I stopped paying attention, I feel like, in 2 and 3. I kind of had thought 2 and 3 were 50-50, and round 1 was clear Zaleski, but I could be wrong. Like, I kind of lost interest in the fight.
He landed a big overhand right like halfway through round 2, and like he didn't like knock him down, but he wobbled him pretty badly, and it was the biggest moment of the round.
Yeah, it was kind of a boring fight, so I was like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, agreed.
I
had the under, which was a bit annoying, but yeah, because he got 2 almost knockouts. Even Zaleski KO closed at plus 1,300, and I hit that. I was just like, yeah, Zaleski throws 8.
Yeah, it was yeah, I feel like there's a lot of unders where like a lot of knockdowns happen. Like I didn't play any of those unders or anything, but I feel like there's like a lot of even like Aldo Jan and shit like that. But Ozdemir Prochaska, I was kind of impressed by Prochaska, but at the same time, he was kind of losing into that point, and like this was a high variance fight. Either guy could have knocked each other out at any moment. Ozdemir was up on the strike count until the knockout, but I do think Prochaska was at least kind of like at least waiting to throw his offense a little bit until round 2. So I don't know, like it. I feel like this is just a very high variance fight, and just Prochaska happened to get the knockout. Could see Prochaska knocking him out again. Could see Ozdemir knocking him out. You know, That's kind of what I think.
I think Ozdemir takes about 60% of the time. I think Ozdemir is more likely to win rounds and the leg kick thing.
I do like
Jerry,
his gas tank better, though. Like because that seems like it's going to be a wild war, but I don't know.
it's not like Ozdemir gas though.
Yeah, it's not bad. Did he look a little tired though? Like I was just kind of feeling like even going into round 2, I was just kind of like,
He looked a bit uncertain the whole time because Jerry was just doing such weird shit.
he just like I don't know what the deal was. I'd have to rewatch it, but I was getting the impression that he was like either getting kind of hurt and uncomfortable or he was tired. Like it was just weird. Like I don't know. But he was landing. Like he won round 1.
Yeah. He looked thrown off, but I think a lot of that was just how Jerry fights.
Yeah.
Like, the finish was the start of round 2, and like, yeah, he got hurt by the head kick and then just kind of wobbled off the head kick and couldn't recover, but I don't think he was slowing. Well, no. I guess light heavyweight, so he probably was slowing a little bit, but it wasn't like he was massive. He was completely puffed, and he was just like a walking target kind of deal.
Yeah, it was just like my initial thoughts when I watched it. I'd have to rewatch to kind of see, but yeah, it was a high variance fight though for sure. Like regardless.
I kind of felt Jerry steered into the chaos because he was trying to avoid the leg kicks.
Yeah.
Jerry doesn't usually fight like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Vulcan landed 9 leg kicks, and the fight didn't go very long. So, over the course of 15 minutes, it probably would have been about 30. But assuming he wouldn't have got tired, but yeah.
Like Jerry usually fights a bit unorthodox, but he doesn't usually fight that unorthodox.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like Jerry just kind of maybe it was from a sort of personal brand point of view where he's like, I might as well try and create the most spectacular thing possible. Maybe it was from a tactical point of view.
Yeah,
I think he just sort of
though too. Like the first Ozdemir put him on skates a couple times. I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to him knocking out Corey Anderson?
Yeah. Anderson will be winning. Yeah. Getting takedowns, and then he'll knock out Anderson. I mean, we can already call that one.
Main event, 3 months, round 5, Jerry knockout.
Yeah. Rebus Van Zant. I don't think we need to say anything about that. Rose Andrade. I'm glad I passed because I feel like Andrade was the value side at that line, and I would have been mad. And it was just kind of a thing. Andrade, I feel like, first of all, I know there's always been debate about the 5-round fight between these two, and this just made it more. This gave me even stronger opinions that Andrade would win a 5-rounder. If they were even money in a 5-rounder, I'd play Andrade. Like my opinion hasn't changed on that. But in 3 rounds, I thought it was pretty close, and it ended up being pretty close. And the way I see it is I feel like Andrade fought. I also agreed with you that Rose's finishing path early was being overstated, and I think it was, like Andrade took the shots fine. It's real, like in both their fights, it was really only the knee that hurt her, and it was kind of a random knee. But I feel like Andrade fought the first fight, the way, like her strategy in the first fight by coming out hot is how she should have fought in a 3-rounder. And I feel like the way she fought here is how she should have fought in a 5-rounder to kind of like not get killed right away. But yeah, like I don't know, that's kind of the way I felt. But I mean, Rose, honestly, if that would have been a 5-rounder, her eye was fucked, completely fucked. And Andrade just seemed to be getting easier takedowns and just landing hard shots, and Rose seemed to be getting tired. What do you think?
I had a decent amount on the draw, like plus 6,000. So I was a bit annoyed that Andrade didn't quite do enough.
Yeah,
like I just felt if any fight's going to be a draw, it's going to be that one. Which I think was almost there. Like if Andrade had pulled the trigger more in the last 2 minutes, I think that's a draw. Or that's a 10-8 or a finish. That's what annoyed me most in that fight was that last 2 minutes when Andrade was kind of like pacing herself, and I'm like, Andrade, if she, like Andrade versus Torres or versus Gedalia, as soon as she got on top of somebody, she just kept coming.
Yeah. She seemed to just fight a little measured, which I don't think she should have. Because like Rose eventually slowed down, and Andrade didn't even push the pace she usually does, So I thought that was kind of strange, but I also just, I don't know, like in a 5-rounder, I just don't see how Rose doesn't get badly beat up in the last few rounds. Like because it kind of magnifies round to round. And I don't know, I just feel like it would have kept happening. But it was a good fight. It was a fun fight.
Yeah.
And I thought Rose took rounds 1 and 2, so I was fine with the decision.
Yeah, I was fine with the decision. I felt 10-8 was live, and also like the sequencing in round 2 was enough that Andrade, like she got a card in round 2, and I could kind of see it with that last flurry. Andrade kind of ended the round pretty well. No, I just think that Andrade probably wins up more often than she doesn't, just because of the physicality edge.
Especially in a 5-rounder, definitely. In a 3-rounder, it kind of
I
just
think it's 10-8.
Yeah.
But round 2 wasn't a massive margin. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just checking the numbers. Like, I think it was like 3 straight significant strikes in Rose's favor.
Yeah, it was close.
And
It was really close, yeah.
And then George probably had more damage in round 2, even then. Like, it was a kind of the issue of Rose is how she's got kind of giraffe legs, so when she wobbles, you can't necessarily tell as easily as you would.
Yeah, this fight also just shows the whole like compounding effects of round to round. It's like Rose outlanded Andrade 31-18 in round 1. Rose outlanded Andrade 31-28 in round 2. And then Andrade outlanded Rose 33-20 in round 3 and had a takedown and a pat. You know what I mean? It's just like that the 33-20 in round 3 could easily become like 50-15 in rounds 4 and 5. And that's what it did with Torres, And I just they'll probably fight another fight, honestly, in a 5-rounder. I feel like they should in a main event, and if they're even, I'd play Andrade.
Yeah, the physicality of Andrade is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Particularly when, like, in women's MMA, you can't really punish her with a knockout the same way you would in men's.
yeah,
So it's just she's just overwhelmingly physical. I don't know. Like, if she gets 5 rounds, she could beat a lot of people. Like, even if she lasted a bit longer against Young, I think she's still live against Young.
Oh, I mean, she would have a big late rounds on
Actually, I mean, if the Andrade who fought on 251 came up against Young, I think she's actually pretty alive.
Agreed.
She can mitigate early knockout.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced on Zhang's grappling either, and I'm very excited for her to eventually fight Suarez because I think Suarez mauls her on the mat. But that's a discussion for another day. What's what? That Jan Aldo. I mean, I kind of expected Jan to like have the cardio advantage late. And yeah, that was sad to see. That was awful because Aldo
Yeah.
competed well for a little bit, but dude, I like had to turn. Like, not much that gets to me these days. I'm pretty immune to like the brutality of the sport just because I watch it so much. But that was fucking brutal.
Yeah, agreed on that front. Like, yeah, it's rare that I cringe at something, and that was one of it. I do feel like, just from a panda point of view, I think that fight solidifies Aldo as the GOAT. Like, I think that fight was more impressive than Bisping GSP. Just based on, like,
I
you
thought
know,
I thought Bisping and GSP both looked bad in that fight. I
that's
remember.
what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
GSP might have won his late career weight class change, but like Aldo competed with a lot. It's like, if GSP had lost like 48, 47 to Wetzker, I'd be more impressed by him beating than by him beating Bisping.
Yeah.
It's kind of the angle here.
I don't like talking about goats and stuff just because it's like it's impossible to really prove because it's not like they're ever gonna fight, So it's just like it kind of just turns into an argument and you don't get anywhere. But like I personally am just not as high on Aldo as other people, but I still thought he was really good in his prime,
Yeah.
It's just because I just don't like that he doesn't wrestle and it just limits offense, and it can just make a fight more high variance. That's kind of my argument. So I just feel like he has the potential to lose more, and because he's not very busy. But luckily in his prime, he was really hard to hit and everything, so that kind of made up for it. But like whenever you look at this is just my philosophy, but when you look at like an Usman or GSP, it's like they outland pretty much everyone on the feet and they destroy everyone with takedowns. So they just have more ways to win dominantly. Does that make sense? And beat more styles.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion. That's why I do not think Aldo is the GOAT, and I wouldn't put him up there. But I know I know that pisses a lot of people love, like, I love Aldo, like I love him, but it's just that's my viewpoint. Is like whenever I look at the GOAT, I see like who would win, who would beat the most fighters, and like I look at like an Usman, and I do not see many people who can beat him just because he has so many options, right? And he won't lose on volume.
Yeah, I mean, definitely best of all time. I'd say somebody of pure output, like even the Colby type, like Colby/Usman, just because it's so difficult to beat them.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't mean they're more skillful than Aldo. That's not, I'm not saying that. Like, I guess it means. So I guess it kind of depends on your definition of the greatest of all time. Like, I'm not talking about technically skill. I'm just saying who would win the most fights. And it's like people underrate output and cardio. They just do, because output and cardio can honestly just make you a contender. Just even if you're not skillful, like if you just don't get tired in a 3 or 5 round fight, you're gonna do decently well. You're gonna overachieve.
Would you agree that the GOAT's probably a high output, lengthy light heavyweight with strong cardio and strong grappling?
Talking about Jones?
No, Paul Craig.
Yes, Paul Craig's the GOAT, and we can move on.
Holloway
Volkanovski. People are like sending death threats about this fight apparently on Twitter. Honestly, I just thought it was. This is my opinion on the decision. I thought it was round 1 and 2. I don't see how you can't score for Max, even though it's hard to predict that he'll land knockouts. They actually happen, so I just feel like you have to give those 2 rounds to him. And all 3 judges gave Holloway rounds 1 and 2. And so you would think I thought round 5 was actually like kind of clear Volk, not 100%, or anything, but I thought it was like 75-25. Then I thought 3 and 4 were 50-50. So you would think the guy who has 2 pretty much 100% shoe-in rounds and 1 to 2 would get like a couple squares from 3 to 5 with those 3 judges, and that's what I thought. So I assumed Max was probably going to win, but I also understand Volk winning 3 rounds 3 to 5, because I thought he won 5 and I thought 3 and 4 were close. So that's kind of my opinion.
Yeah, about the same. Like, I think Holloway should have won just because of the square aspect, but Volkanovski 3-4-5 is a fine scorecard. I'm not saying it's incorrect. I just have a similar view on this to what I had on Jedrzejczyk, Joanna Champion versus Young, where it's like Joanna Champion had the only really clear round, and the other 4 were pretty 55-45. So I expect logically that should result in Joanna getting the decision.
And it usually does, but sometimes it won't,
I feel like maybe it's a championship bias thing, but also like a lot of people arguing about using all 3 big ones this year, which are Jones, Reyes, JJ, Zhang, and Volkanovski Holloway. But then again, it's kind of like, it's hard to say. It's only 3 fights. Like, I've had a fairly big swing on all. I've been on the dog side in all 3 of those fights, which has been annoying.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah, I was on it for Joanna, and so I played Joanna in that fight, and I thought it was really close. I just thought it was super close. I think because her forehead exploded, she only needed 1 scorecard on one of the judges, and I thought that if her head didn't explode like that, she probably would have got some of those closer rounds. But it's hard to be a judge and win a rounds 50-50 to not give it to the person who doesn't have an alien on her head, So it's just like, I kind of understood it from that way too.
My thing about Joanna Zhang is that coming into round 4, Joanna had 2 scorecards and 2 different judges' scorecards. Round 4 was probably her second best round, and she only got it on. And she only got it on the one judge who hadn't given her the 2 earlier rounds.
Yeah.
So it was just like I'm not like, from a pure objective thing, I don't mind Zhang winning, but like if I had a live bet at the end of 15 minutes and I had full knowledge there were two judges who had given her round one and another one given her round two, and round three was beyond doubt, what would my live price be?
Yeah, I mean, it would be Joanna favorite, right? It
Joanna was like minus 250 at best, but if I had like confirmed knowledge of like if it was open scoring going into
yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
it would have been like minus 1,000.
yeah, it was yeah, that fight was just interesting. I thought it was a close. It was really close. I remember the funny thing is, Zhang was like closed at minus 230, and she didn't win a unanimous round. Like she did not win one round unanimous, and it was very like obvious with the numbers going in that it's just hard to win rounds against Joanna unless if you hurt her. So I don't know, whatever. But
Yeah.
Usman Masvidal, I ended up playing a little bit on Usman just because after I taped, I kind of just thought he was going to win the later rounds pretty big. Kind of happened. But Masvidal hung tough though. Like I thought he did the best he could. He just couldn't get off the cage. I think he just kind of got tired.
Yeah, I was expecting the later rounds to be uglier than they were. I had a bit of good distance. There's a bunch of solid props around. Like I think I showed you about most significant strikes, most takedowns, and it was when wins at minus 120, and like that was a no-brainer
Yeah.
because
It
like
was
I mean statistically, Usman's never not done that.
yeah, there was what did Masvidal close at? What was his price?
Plus 240-ish, I'm guessing would probably be the close. That'd be why I punted it. That's what I'd expect it to be. Just check. Masvidal 5 times plus 245, plus
Okay.
200.
I think at one point he was like plus 215 around the I think he was like almost honestly like at one point one of my friends asked advice. I think it was like on Friday or something. I think he was around plus 200. He ended up obviously some money came in on Usman. But I remember I was just kind of like I told him that I just thought Usman was going to win and I was like I'm betting Usman but he just likes plus money. And and so he was like, I kind of want to play Masvidal because of the plus money, and I was like, dude, I would rather just if you want plus money, just play Usman decision plus 165 because pretty much if you look at those prices are like comparable, the Masvidal and Usman prices at that time, and I just do not think Masvidal can win a decision. So, so it's like you're playing the very far-fetched decision line of Masvidal and what I think is an overstated inside the distance line for Usman decision, right? And Masvidal's tough as fuck. So that was kind of my advice to him. But yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. Did you play a bunch
Usman's
of?
finishing is disgraceful.
Yeah, to be fair, Masvidal's ultra tough to finish. Like he's like top 5 ever durable.
Still, I mean, just generally, just Usman's the finishing. He gets all his dominant positions. He's one of these guys like Curtis Blades. I'm just like, how are you not better positionally at jiu-jitsu?
Has he never won by submission?
He got one in TUF finale, I think. I think an arm triangle over somebody. Let me just check my
Oh yeah,
topology.
I'm looking now. Yeah, in the Ultimate Fighter, he only had one, and then
Like
other than that, he's had
he's
none.
capable of them.
Yeah,
Um,
that's kind of surprising. Yeah, he kind of reminds me. He's technically a black belt in Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, but um, he's competent like positionally and defensively. It's just offensively he's not um, great. But he,
it's like you don't have to be that incredible to get arm triangles or rear naked chokes from the puddle of somebody, like a puddle of the RDA or something.
yeah,
That's kind of
no,
my view.
yeah, for sure. Um, but he's honestly not fair. He's just like his cardio is insane, and he's just such an athletic freak.
Yeah, like I've heard, I'm not really a fan of him, but I put money on him anyway because it's like it's just. I hope he gets knocked out sooner rather than later. I'm okay betting on him. I respect what he does, but also it's just hard to like it.
Yeah, I've wrote him for a very long time, and I think there was only 1 or 2 fights I didn't play him. I think he was like minus 1,000 at one point in one fight. I forget who he was against, and but
Mink maybe.
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember. It might have been, but I've just been playing him because I don't know. It's just you really have to finish him. He's still only lost one unanimous round, and he's been to a decision like 20 times in the cage. Because Masvidal didn't win round one. You know, I kind of actually thought Masvidal maybe won round one. Like I thought it was close, but they gave it to Usman 2-1. Like 2 judges gave it to Usman.
Which
But
kind of surprised me since he lost significant strikes. And like, yeah, cage pushed a bit, but it wasn't like he was doing much.
yeah, he got hit kind of hard. You know, with like some
Yeah.
hard. Yeah. Like no, that I expected that. That's pretty much the first round that I expected, and then the fight went pretty much how I expected, except I didn't think Masvidal would be held on the cage. I thought he would escape, and there would be more like Usman having to push him back there. But it was kind of like Masvidal was just tired, and he just hung out on the cage more than I expected. But I expected a lot of cage time.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just Usman's gonna keep doing that for a while.
Oh yeah,
Hopefully somebody knocks him out sooner rather than later.
someone's got to knock him out. It's gonna be tough to dethrone him. Like Colby's really. Is there anyone at welterweight capable of beating him in rounds? Like I don't think so. It's really just Colby.
Even Colby, like I think if he actually wrestles Colby, like if he actually approaches
Yeah.
it properly, Edwards might get like a round or two.
If Usman did his clinching up against Colby, like I know there's people who think Colby can. I think Usman would destroy him in the wrestling. Like maybe not destroy him, but I think there would be a lot of like what he did to Masvidal, where he would just win a lot of positions and just win the fight. You know, look, I'm gonna pull up the welterweight roster. Like, is there anyone who can win rounds on him? Like, I don't.
What's the Bartosz Fabiński?
That'd be
He's
fun.
coming.
It'd be fun. At least he could like compete from the wrestling. He'd probably lose though. You know.
Yeah, again, like I just can't really see who may Magny. Magny's coming for the belt.
Jeff Neal had some pretty good hips against Muhammad, but Muhammad's not Usman.
It's not really takedown defense against Usman. It's cage push defense, which is a lot trickier.
Yeah, he's just really good with it. Yeah, like pretty much all these guys are fucked.
I'd be kind of interested to see modern Magny against Usman. No, just
at least he has good cardio. Yeah, you know, so like maybe later rounds.
It's not like Usman's gets up.
I mean, honestly, like the fact that we're saying Magny's his most intriguing matchup just goes to show someone's got to fucking knock him out, or he's gonna be the champ for a while.
Neil Magny's coming for the belt. I can taste it.
Like, we've resorted to Neil Magny.
Look, if Neil Magny makes it to the top 5, I'll just be so happy. I love Neil Magny.
I like Magny, yeah, for sure.
Tough. He's journeyman. He just goes in there and puts up volume. I've always liked the Dan Kelly types.
Yeah.
But fights a lot. It's very tough. Puts up a lot of volume. What isn't there to like?
Yeah.
I was even bitching about. I was like talking about this on Discord about like who even welterweight doesn't really have anybody coming up. Like who's the current best welterweight prospect? Baszler, Sean Brady.
Yeah,
it's like they're okay.
They're kind of just there. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe Randy Brown.
Yeah,
actually, Randy Brown versus Usman could be interesting, just because I feel like that sort of distance striking he's doing is something at least.
He's gonna get wrestled though. Like
I know, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
and Jeff Neal's interesting.
It also doesn't help that Usman also seems like one of the most durable fighters in the sport. Just like, dude, he's just such a fucking freak. I feel like nothing hurts him. He just comes forward and nothing bothers him at all. He's like the fucking Terminator.
He reacts badly. He reacts a bit badly, but he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, he'll kind of like flinch at shots and stuff, but not in a way that you ever think he's in danger of being hurt, you know? But all right, let's move on to this.
Yeah. I need to start testing for APO. I think that's what will defeat Usman.
Yeah, that too. It's a shame that the GOAT's Bergen Gonzalez got canceled, but we'll move on to the first.
Oh, come on. That fight was going to be amazing.
I don't even want to talk about it. The first fight of it is Shore and Phillips. Shore should wipe the floor with them. And the line shows it. Do you want to even talk about this?
I haven't done tape. I'm a bit dubious because I know Shaw will just grapple and probably stop him pretty quickly, but again, it's like minus 800 on Jack Shaw is always kind of a bit dodgy for me, but yeah.
Yeah. I don't actually. Phillips is kind of tough, and he doesn't seem like he would be all that easy to sub, but he just allows so many passes and so many takedowns. Sam Cecilia, I think, landed. Fuck, what was it? Let me look it up. He landed, I think. Sorry, give me like 2 more seconds. He landed 5 takedowns and 7 passes, and on Phillips. And the fight was a while ago, but honestly, Phillips looks like the exact same guy. And Cecilia had 7 passes in that fight, and he's only had 3 combined passes in his career. So it's like, and Shore, like that's what Shore's game is, like takedowns and passes. You know, he got 11 passes on Hernandez. So I just feel like he's gonna be fine. Like Phillips has to put him away. I've seen crazier shit happen, but it would kind of be surprising.
Yeah, pretty much. I just don't want to play that sort of line on Jack Shaw.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying to bet the house on. I'm just saying
what's points handicap? No points handicap yet? No points handicap yet.
It's 400 or something.
Yeah, it's like if I was going to play Jack Shaw, I'd probably play points handicap.
Yeah. Belbita and Jojua, I taped, did you?
I had a quick look at the dumpster fire. Surprised Belbita's getting hit, but Jojua just seems kind of bad, so dumpster fire.
Yeah, it's a dumpster fire. I do agree with Belbita being the favorite just because she at least put up volume against Molly McCann, and it kind of seems like all Belbita can do is go for takedowns and maybe lay on you. And at least Belbita sort of kind of knew how to get up against McCann when she got taken down, but it's a low level shit. Like I'm not playing her at minus 200, and I don't want to play Jojua either. Like this is a low level shit. Let's just move on to Gordon Fishgold because at least this is more interesting. What do you think here?
Yeah, good. Fishgold will probably explode out hard, gas a bit. Gordon has a strong tempo, so probably takes over. But yeah, Fishgold might win during his sway of flattening at the start.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, like, I don't really think Fishgold can win a decision. Like, I'd be really surprised. And I don't think he can keep up with the pace, or Gordon's a better wrestler too, in my opinion. And Gordon's takedown defense is 57%, but I like his ability. Like, I actually think his takedown defense is pretty decent looking at it, and 57% is not awful or anything. But also, he's really good at kind of popping back up, you know? So I don't think Fishgold can hold him down. And I think Gordon can hold Fishgold down. Like Fishgold's not very good with his get-ups. His takedown defense isn't very good, and Gordon's a pretty good wrestler. So like I think the positional game and the grappling is Gordon. And the thing with Fishgold is like I don't think he can sub Gordon. And like the fact that like what's his submission line's like pretty
ridiculous. Plus 250 or something.
Which is pretty. What's that implied percentage? Like 30,
28%.
Yeah, like I was looking. So I did not know. I didn't want to look up Gordon's grappling background, like as far as submission goes, because I just wanted to like watch first, you know, so I didn't go in with bias. And just I saw him stuck in like a body. his base is really strong when he gets his back taken, and all of Fishgold's submissions are guillotines and rear naked chokes in his entire career. And Gordon fights hands really, really well. And I just don't think he's going to get subbed in either of those. And Gordon's also not been subbed in his career. But also, the like one or two times I saw him get his back taken, like he did the right thing. And even Tamer shook off Fishgold quite easily. Like Fishgold's sloppy on his back takes and falls off easily. And the only time Gordon came close to getting subbed is he got his back taken against at the end of round 2 against who was it? Joaquim Silva. And Joaquim Silva is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he wasn't going to get the rear naked choke as Gordon was defending correctly, and he was about to escape. And then he went for the Suliev stretch, and he kind of got a little close on it, but I don't think that's in Fishgold's arsenal, you know? Like, and I just trust Gordon to be able to not get subbed. So I honestly think, and like, I know like that's a little, I don't know, a little kind of like different from the curve because I feel like most people think Fishgold's live for a sub here, but I just think that sub line's overstated. I really don't think he's going to sub Gordon. And then when I looked into his wrestling background, he's a brown belt under Danaher. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because I really just saw like good submission defense understanding. And then I kind of just think Fishgold has to knock him out. And if Fishgold swings hard and Gordon is a little bit questionable durability, but it's like he's got knocked out by some pretty hard hitters, you know? So I don't know. Like, what do you think about
I think there's a decent chance Fishgold sort of steers into volatility by coming out hard, leg kicks and hooks.
Yeah.
He'll probably gas, but like, yeah, Fishgold KO1 at plus 1,000 over this is probably a reasonable bet.
Yeah.
I'm
honestly more worried about Fishgold KO than submission.
Yeah, but you're going to play not submission. He's going to hit a club sub. He's going to 95% kill Gordon with a punch and then just get the guillotine.
I honestly think like
while screaming "fuck you" Tim.
I honestly think a hurt Gordon can survive. Like I'm not even joking. I don't think isn't Fishgold like a black belt in jiu-jitsu? Like that's why belts are stupid. But because I had this thing. I played Amirkhani over Fishgold because I was just like the wrestling difference is huge here, and I even thought Amirkhani could sub Fishgold. He ended up getting it, and I didn't think he could submit Amirkhani when I was looking at the way Amirkhani defended guillotines, and there was a scramble. I rewatched that fight again, and there was a scramble, and Amirkhani did exactly the right things of just like fighting wrist control and the guillotine. He was fine, and I don't know, like I'm kind of ranting, but I honestly feel like Fishgold KO is like his main path to victory, and it's just how reliable is that? But who knows? He'll just randomly knock him out, right? Sleep for fucking 2 minutes and knock him out. But because I don't know, I'm considering a bet on Gordon, but I'm just a little I might just see what the line does and let the market decide for me.
I've got a decent spread of players on this. I've got some Gordon minus 130-ish just because I saw the line was starting to kick and I had the slow line, so I was like, yeah, fuck it, might as well take it. Gordon 2 or 3, round 2 or round 3 at plus 600. Fishgold round 1 KO plus 1,300.
Yeah, I agree with all those.
It's possible. It's possible. I sort of read the needle and missed them all, but like, yeah, I think it's a sensible way to play it.
Another little just like decision, another reason why I just think Fishgold is kind of low percentage for a decision is against Daniel Tamer. They fought for like 6-7 minutes, right? And it was kind of just like trading takedowns and position and shit like that. And Fishgold only landed 19 total strikes in that fight because he doesn't throw ground and pound. That's the thing about Fishgold. And Tamer landed 31. So he actually outlanded Fishgold, and he landed, I think 15 ground strikes, and Fishgold landed 2. And in total strikes ground and pound, Gordon's off the charts. He against Joaquim Silva, which is kind of like a lot of striking, a lot of grappling, he landed 149 total strikes, and against Hakran Diaz, he landed 163 of 285. And he just lands a ton, and he landed 61 significant ground strikes against Diaz. It's just, he will land ground strikes and Fishgold won't. So even if they just start trading position, I feel like the top time, I think Gordon will win the top time battle. I just think he's better positionally as a wrestler. And even if worst case happens and it's tied with top time, I just think Gordon will land more ground and pound. And that's huge in a fight like that. So that's another thing that I thought I'd throw out there.
Not a bad price, but ends by KO is plus 270 over here.
I like that. I really don't think Gordon doesn't seem like he even goes for submission, so that's a thing. And I don't know. I don't want it to be a thing where I say this and then Fishgold gets some type of sub, but I don't think that submission line's right. I disagree with it. I'm not saying it can't happen. I just don't. That's a lot of submissions in 100 fights. What is it? 28. That's a ton of submissions, and I honestly think it might be 10% or lower, but who knows?
Yeah.
But Gordon also landed 171 total strikes against Dan Moret too in a 3-rounder. He just lands ground and pound.
And also, Fishgold is very reliable to sort of force exchanges on the feet. Him against Kattar, he just went nuts.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, to his credit, he wasn't going to beat Kattar any other way.
Yeah, agreed. No. I think that's what he needs to do. I think he should just go nuts and try to force a firefight.
Yeah.
And when doing that, Gordon might just say fuck it and do it, and that's why one of them might get KO'd, because I don't even think, I feel like either guy can be KO'd here,
Yeah, easily. That's why my view is just I'm confident Fishgold will go nuts on him, and I think that has a decent chance of producing KO in either direction.
Yeah.
But if it goes longer, probably Gordon. Yeah, if it gets to 6 minutes, Gordon probably takes over from there because Fishgold gasses so quickly at the pace he sets.
Yeah.
But Fishgold's one of those weird ones because I don't think he's really UFC caliber, but also I'll give him credit because at least he's trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
If I had his skill set and athleticism, I've kind of got to go nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know. Imagine if they beat Qatar, that would be like one of these the Wodo versus some Henry sort of level stupid upsets.
But honestly, Henry Dewadu might be one of the biggest upsets in UFC history. If they honestly, what would you line that just in general?
500, probably my 500ish. Dewardo's not dominant enough grappler for me to
True. So I mean, there can be variance, and we saw that, right? So no, I see what you mean, but it was still a huge upset.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I'm not saying isn't the case. I'm just
yeah.
I'm not going to give anybody who isn't a gigantic grappling threat more than minus 400, minus 500.
Yeah, unless if it's just a ridiculous volume mismatch,
And even Dewardo takes that sort of first round to get his shit together. So even then,
yeah, for sure. All right, I think we talked enough about this fight. I'm still thinking about that fight. I'm not going to pull, even if I play Gordon, I'm not going to play it big, because I do think Fishgold will swing, but I still think Gordon's going to win. This is the one fight I haven't taped. Bukauskas and Michelides. I have no fucking idea. You taped this, didn't you?
Imagine Anthony Smith when he first came to the UFC. That is Midir in Bukauskas. He has an okay jab, an okay low kick. On the Cage Warrior scene, he had no takedown defense. He just had this ability to get up at 13 minutes into the fight and knock the other guy out.
Yeah.
He had 3 fights that happened, and he's just his skill, I guess, is durability and cardio. Michelides is a lot, and the issue is not he's some lethal striker, right? Because he's very jab and low kick heavy. He's not like he's throwing bombs. Michelides tends to gas around 7 minutes, but should win the first 6-7 minutes pretty dominantly. Good chance if Bukauskas wins, it's probably just him. You've watched that episode of The Simpsons where Homer becomes a boxer. That is Bukauskas' career, to be honest.
Yeah.
He'll just absorb 7 minutes of Michelides' punishment, then he'll just take over. As such, like Micheladas plus 220 was nuts. Even plus 150 is probably value because you probably be able to get a trade out of it. I think there's end of round one, Michelada's is probably the favorite just because he'll won round one so dominantly. Yeah, I think the Carcass is just a favorite because he was originally booked against what's his name, main Brazilian, lost to Paul Craig.
Oh, Morea or whatever.
Yeah, and honestly, like after doing Bukowska's tape, I probably would have played Morea against him, just because his takedown defense and sub defense is so mediocre.
Yeah.
Like Morea is probably going to be a get on top of him for at least a round, and like Morea can sub you when he actually gets you down.
Yeah.
Yeah, just Bukowska doesn't really have a skill set apart from existing in your direction and keeping up a tempo, and like it could be enough, but like I just don't see what Mitch Slater should be. It should be a dog.
Yeah, I'll once I tape, I'll kind of tweet out my thoughts. I just haven't looked at it. So you think the early value is on Mokatis or whatever the fuck his name is?
Yeah, Mikadas money line. Mikadas.
Yeah. Yeah, most people I've talked to have said that him as a dog was kind of the side. So I don't know, but I literally haven't looked, so I have no
Yeah,
opinions.
just I'm willing to bet Mitch Slater will win the first 7 minutes of the fight. It's quite likely it turns into a finish, but if it doesn't turn into a finish, you'll be able to get out pretty easily.
Yeah, you can live bet out and hedge. Ramos and Murphy. I think Ramos. Thing is, I wish Ramos just went to his grappling more, and kind of just maximized his win condition because he's a good grappler. But if it stays on the feet, I could see this kind of getting competitive. I want to look into this a little more. Like I taped like moderately, but not enough. What do you think?
I played the under small just because I felt there's a good chance they just both throw a lot of offense. Like
Yeah,
Ramos when he grapples is very sort of sub heavy, and and if it stays standing, they'll probably both throw bombs.
yeah,
Um, Murphy's grappling against Tukagov, his grappling wasn't that bad. And like Tukagov as a wrestler is better than Ramos.
yeah. No, I mean he can scramble up decently and stuff. I just feel like I like Ramos only shoots about 3 takedowns per 15 minutes, and I feel like in general he should probably try to maximize his win condition more because he's pretty good on the mat. But even on the feet, this is probably pretty close, right?
Yeah, like I just generally Ramos doesn't really do enough to be that big a
Yeah,
favorite
yeah,
against anybody. Like just look at
yeah.
his fight metric. He's been outlanded in pretty much every fight, and if he
I
does
know.
outland, it's usually by like 10.
Yeah. No, I agree. Um,
Like I think Murphy's interesting as a prospect. 'Cause again, I'm not sure his grappling sort of interacts in this sort of thing, but it's just just hard to take Ramos that seriously as a big favorite unless it's
yeah,
somebody absolutely awful.
yeah,
Like even Jenny Newson had his day in court.
yeah. No, yeah, like no, I agree. I'm probably I think I'm gonna just pass. I just feel like this is gonna be kind of interesting.
I took a bit of under and a bit of Murphy plus 150. Not
Yeah,
really married to it, just I don't know, just watching prices. And again, a lot of time I just see the line move and I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll take it.
yeah,
It's like the worst case scenario most of the time is like an arb out. So it's like, even if I'm pre-tape, I might also just tape the slow lines.
for sure.
So like,
Uh,
there's very little downside.
yeah,
Yeah, I like the under here because I feel like they're both swing in every phase. Like I just don't. My big thing of playing unders is how many sort of safe phases are there, and like
it's pretty juice too, or I mean not
yeah,
juice. So I mean it's pretty big dog odds. So yeah,
yeah, like if Ramos is on top of him, Ramos should be going for subs. If they're standing, they'll both be throwing bombs.
yeah,
And I don't think Murphy will spend that much time on top of Ramos. So I just feel like the under will be in play pretty much every minute.
yeah. And at that price, yeah, sure.
And
Uh,
and they both put up some spectacular knockouts. And it's generally just two high dynamic sort of guys. And like even Newson had to show a lot of durability to get through Ramos.
yeah, no, definitely for sure. Um, Kimaev and John Phillips. Kimaev should out wrestle him, but still, like, if he doesn't get the finish in round one, we've never seen his cardio, and you don't know what's going to happen. But I mean, Phillips is really bad as a wrestler, and so he'll probably just get murked on the mat. But that's honestly, that's my only opinions on the fight.
Pretty much, like Kimeev could just take him down and sub him. Phillips KO1 was like plus 1,000 what I saw, and I was like, yeah, that's probably tempting. Like if Phillips is going to win, it's probably going to be a KO1.
Yeah, or if maybe gets tired, and like
yeah, possibly
in round one, like I could see that happening too. It's just I don't know, like I just don't know how good his jiu-jitsu is. I haven't really seen it against anyone like that great, but I mean, like at the same time, I know he's fought all regional competition, but the regional competition's ground game are probably on par with Phillips's, So like he
how dare you insult his regional competition?
Like Sidney Wheeler actually wrestled in high school and wasn't bad, and he kind of got murked on the mat. So yeah, like Kimeev should be able to just wrestle him, but there's enough question marks to minus 360. No way,
Pretty much.
Yeah, Al Hassan and Lazes or whatever the fuck his name is, could be enough volatility here to, just to not want to look at that minus 330 line, El Hassan will probably come out and try to kill him. I just feel like playing the under or something would be better. But what do you think?
I got some stupid numbers on the ZKO1. It's like plus 2,000, and I was like, if they just decide to swing to death, like
yeah,
yeah, plus 2,000.
Yeah, I mean,
he can put up power. He doesn't look awful.
What's up?
He can put up power. He doesn't look awful. I don't think Al Hassan is some tank, durability wise.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Al Hassan, I'll get a bit wrecked. I get a bit wobbled. Like, yeah, Al Hassan definitely probably will win the dick measuring contest, but I don't think he should be like effectively. Like if you compare that
to win a round one swinging contest.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, no, I mean,
there's a model
probably kills him, but there's enough volatility in the styles where that could happen. Like he could get clipped, right?
Yeah, I just view this as like Choi versus Jordan. Well, I'm pretty confident Choi wins it more often than not. But the way Al Hassan fights, and Lazez doesn't look like an awful kickboxer.
No, he doesn't look bad.
Like he's not a leader or anything. Like he'll probably he'll get drawn into it. But yeah, he looks competent, and Al Hassan's not like he's some Jose Aldo peak sort of skill machine.
Yeah.
Like he's learning kickboxing the same people Usman is, so they can't be that good at this. So yeah. Al Hassan probably wins off physical capabilities, and also Al Hassan's important. What, 3 years, 4 years?
Not 4, but probably a few now.
Let me check. 2018. No, so it's not too much. 3 years, 2 years. Yeah. And even that was like I think a 30-second fight.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it is what it is. Like Al Hassan probably just kills him, but there's volatility in the style, and you can't be confident really. So if you want err on the ridiculous, lines at plus money in a fight like this, but I'm not touching this fight. McCann and Santos, I think this is a pretty close fight. I was actually, this isn't that bad of a women's MMA fight. Like I don't think McCann's that bad, and when I watched Santos, she's actually not a bad striker. If you watch her Contender Series fight, she got grappled a little bit against Barella. On the feet, I expect it to be kind of close, but I like Santos' leg kicks, and I think she hits a little harder, and she has like the reach and height advantage. But McCann just puts up output, that's really what she does. And she has a grappling upside because she's landed like 5 takedowns, 2 takedowns, and 2 takedowns, and she's gotten a pass for every takedown she's ever landed. And she's attempted like 14 and 11 takedowns in 2 different fights. So she's got the grappling upside, right? So like in a fight like this that is probably pretty competitive on the feet, you probably go with the at least the person who has the capability of winning via grappling. And McCann's probably a little more proven, but that's it. Like, I'm not going to play it, though, at minus 150. No way.
Yeah, just about my angle. Just low-level women MMA shit fest.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, and like again, like McCann's grappling has looked better than it did before, but also like the level of competition she's looked better against is so.
Agreed. Yeah. And that's the thing with both of them. They've both had bad competition. So it's kind of like, I don't really know if I should trust stats here, or I don't even know if I should trust tape that much. Right. So, like, there could just be deviations in their performances, just because their competition's kind of been bad, both of them.
Yeah, pretty much. Like again, like just shitfest. Who
Yeah.
really cares? Like
Next 3 fights are a lot better. Let's just move on. Rivera and Stamen. What do you think?
best fight in the card.
Oh yeah,
Actually, no, Kattar Preview is good, but
yeah,
yeah,
they're both good.
yeah, they're both high level. Rivera's had the strongest strength of schedule. Like Rivera was sort of inches away from beating Jan in his last fight.
Yeah,
Stamen looked good against Kelleher. Like that was his career best performance. His volume's strong. Like I think he might be busier than Rivera, which could be an issue for Rivera. But I think Rivera's a bit more skilled to like what they're both trying to do. I don't know. I just feel like it's generally just a close fight. Like I'm leaning Rivera, but no massive conviction. And like Stamen probably has better chin and probably has a better output, so that could be enough to swing it back.
yeah. I think this is going to be competitive. Is the
Also,
the one thing I wanted to like, I just think it's going to be competitive to where I'm not confident on either side, so I'm probably not touching this fight. But does Rivera land leg kicks? Isn't that like a thing with him?
he did to Dodson though. I remember the Dodson. He really fucked Dodson up with them. Like he just seemed to really, he
Yeah,
really outfought Dodson. My issue with Rivera is also like that Sterling fight. Like, I understand in hindsight, Sterling has proven to be good enough that Rivera probably wasn't the value side at minus 140. But just the way Rivera looked so out of it in that fight always kind of concerned me going forward about him.
yeah.
Rivera went 21-25 against Dodson with leg kicks. Against Jan, he went 16-23. Yeah, so he froze him.
One other thing though, too, and it's been a while since this kind of narrative has come out, just because I mean, I guess against Jan it could have come out, but Rivera used to be kind of known as a guy who slowed down, and even against like Thomas Almeida, he really slowed down in round 3 in that fight, and um, I could just see like if Stamen puts on a pace, like I could maybe see that come back, but like Rivera's gas tank looked a lot better against Jan and things like that, so might be a non-issue, but just wanted to bring it up. But
Yeah.
I Stamen Stamen at least can be the guy who lands takedowns because he had temps in, but like Rivera's 95% takedown defense, so it's probably just going to be who outstrikes who, right?
And also, like, Stamen kind of slowed down against Kelleher in round 4.
True. Yeah.
In coronavirus times, I'd kind of lean Stamen just because we've actually got form on him. Like, I feel like
Stamen
Stamen's
was
like,
better than fight. Like
yeah, so I
Stamen,
mean, like,
yeah.
Stamen's floor has been established for like as far as coronavirus and all that's concerned. Whilst like Rivera could just come out looking shit, like anybody could just come out looking shit in these sorts of conditions.
Yeah.
Again, it's like a 3 or 4% thing, but just like yeah, when the margin's that tight, you have to consider it.
I just kind of expect both guys to be able to land. I don't know. I really don't know. I want to look at the tape a little more. 'Cause I just don't have strong opinions kind of going in. Stamen's tough, but like Rivera's good. Like I respect them both. I do favor Stamen's durability more. Like Rivera's a bit chinny. Like it's happened multiple times in his career, but Stamen's not like a heavy hitter or anything. So he probably
I don't
won't hurt
know.
Rivera.
He was putting a bit more together against Kelleher than he has
Sure,
historically, I'd say.
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's not a big hitter though, but still he swings a little bit.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. Again, like the Kelleher performance for Stamen was by far. I played Kelleher against Stamen, and like, yeah, Stamen impressed me quite a bit against Kelleher. I think that's a better career best performance. And yeah, he seems to be coming up. It's kind of a mirror match in a lot of ways. What they're trying to do.
I like both guys a lot. Like Stamen's really improved too. Like he's always been pretty solid, but I just feel like he's kind of gotten better as a striker. And yeah, oh no, I expect a close fight here. Those strong opinions.
Just looking at prices, I saw ends by KO at plus 400, and I was like, yeah, maybe a tiny bit, just because I'm pretty sure we'll spend it'll be 15 minutes of quite high output striking, volume striking.
Yeah, I could see that. Just it's going to be on the feet, and both guys land for sure.
Yeah, you're probably getting 100. You're probably getting 160 to. You're probably getting at least 160 to 200 significant strikes, and
Maybe.
I think it's a decent chance. But like you look at the paces,
you're getting
like,
over. You're probably getting
120 at least.
Yeah. Like one.
So between the two of them.
Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're probably getting 120.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you.
I don't know. I'm just sort of thinking about just in terms of like broadly, because like it's plus 400 friends by KO. Very nice.
I mean, that's 25% too, so it's not like insane. But I tend to think it'll go to decision though. But I understand like your reasoning there, especially at that line.
That's 20% on 25. Yeah, but yeah. I don't know. Just looking for value.
Yeah, it's 20%. Sorry, plus 300 is 25. Sorry. Elliot and Benoit just pass on this fucking fight.
Elliot broke my heart last time.
I'm just glad I stayed away from him last fight, and I'm glad I generally stay away from him. But I always favor him going into a lot of matchups, and then he just fucking gets tired and loses, you know. And I feel like I don't know, Benoit just doesn't land enough strikes, though. But I could just see like Benoit can kind of stop takedowns a little bit and can kind of scramble up, and I could just see Elliot getting tired again, and this just becoming weird, you know. But
yeah, it's gonna be weird. Like there's gonna be 2 minutes of Elliot kind of being controlled, and it's gonna get meme places.
Yeah, I don't really want to spend that much time on this fight. That's kind of the way I see it. Is like I feel like the grappling and the takedown upside is going to be there, but I just you know,
I feel like
yeah,
Elliot's gonna get wobbled at least once though, so it might equal out a bit.
Yeah, I just don't like how hard he's been gassing in a couple fights recently either, and I just feel like that could happen. But it's at the same time, Benoit just doesn't put up much offense. But pass, fuck this fight.
Yeah, the Royval fight was the worst of the recent Elliot fights, my book.
Yeah, for sure.
Against Askarov, he kind of had the excuse of being knocked unconscious in the first round.
Yeah,
like he was gone in the first round.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that Royval fight, I was pretty big on him against Royval, and just like I can't trust him again after that shit.
Yeah, it was a bad performance by him.
Like I would take Benoit over Royval pretty confidently. I just think Royval is awful.
Yeah, he's like your next guy. You're not. He's your new Brian Ortega. Brian Ortega was my like target too. I could not believe that Holloway Ortega line back in the day. That was insane.
Yeah, and Jerry's probably gonna be up there too. The issue of light heavyweight is nobody you can trust to fight these people with.
They're so right up with Aspen Ladd too.
Yeah, true. The issue of light heavyweight is like most divisions you've got like one or two like adults you can use to fight everybody else.
Yeah.
Light heavyweight, like who is the consistent performer at light heavyweight? Corey Anderson.
Yeah, except he will.
He'll just shit himself.
Yeah.
I mean, Devin Clark, I guess.
But
he'll just shit himself. Jan Blachowicz, like Jan Blachowicz, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm just looking at like Ryan Spann, I'm just like, who am I going to fade Ryan Spann with? I kind of have to wait till it's like Jan Blachowicz, because like at least Jan, he's got durability and cardio and
I think
output.
the most consistent performer, like kind of in that mid range, but he's not there anymore. It was like Ryan Bader. You know, like Bader just kind of won fights. Like he kind of just beat who he should have beaten. You know, and he just lost kind of a few fights.
Did he beat OSP or did he lose to OSP? No, he beat OSP.
He beat OSP. He lost to like Jones and AJ, which is kind of like that's fine. And he had a ton of UFC fights, and I think the only like he lost to Machida, which at the time was just that was prime Machida, tough matchup for him. And he's only kind of been memed twice. The Tito Ortiz club and sub, which was fucking hilarious at the time. Which I mean, in like 30 UFC, or not 30, but a lot of UFC light heavyweight fights that happens. And then I think Teixeira clipped him too, which, you know,
he actually hurt Glover first. Remember?
Yeah, no, yeah. He had Glover hurt, and so like those were the only two like like bad losses, and it's still kind of like Glover was just a bit of a swing fest, and Tito is a club and sub. And since those fights, he's had Bellator fights too, and he's like won all the fights he should have. Like he's pretty consistent, you know.
Yeah, like he's going to come back and beat John Jones for the title, and everybody will celebrate.
Nah, he's not beating Jones, but
I think he could at this point.
Just doesn't have enough volume.
Yeah, he's got the proactive top game. Like he picked that volume lately, I think.
He's not.
His boxing's a lot tighter than it used to be.
Like Jones has declined, but Jones still can wrestle his ass off defensively. He's one of the best defensive wrestlers in the history of the sport.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just fading Jones too much these days. Like
he has 95% takedown defense in his career. That's fucking insane. And
it's light heavyweights. Light heavyweights are bad at the sport.
Yeah, but if you have two fights with Daniel Cormier, who lands takedowns, and is probably a similar takedown artist to Bader, I don't know. And like, I mean, they fought before, and Jones schooled him in the grappling, if you remember. Like that was young John Jones. Do you remember that fight? Like it was really high time.
Yeah, I watched the fight. Like, I just feel like I don't know. I like young John Jones more than I like modern John Jones.
Yeah,
the modern guy just doesn't fill me with any confidence anymore, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know why we just went from Elliott to talking about Bader and shit. So let's talk about
disappointments.
Yeah. Let's talk about Ige and Kattar. I think Kattar should take it. The head strike metrics, I won't go too far into it, but the actual head strike metrics are heavily in the favor of Kattar. Like, even though Kattar's actually been outlanded in his career from strikes, he's never been outlanded to the head except against Moicano in round 2 and 3. And it was kind of after the leg kicks destroyed him. He even outlanded Zabit to the head, which is impressive. And Ige gets hit to the head a lot. Like, Edson landed half of his head strikes, like 40 of 80 or something. Jordan Griffin landed 48 of 100 head strikes on him. And I think there was another one where he just kind of got beat up on head strikes. And I just think Kattar will kind of eventually beat him in that game as it goes on. But Ige, I do think he's tough. And if he can swing and kind of just like maybe win an early round, I guess he could maybe keep it semi-competitive on the scorecards. But I do think Kattar will probably kind of pull away. What do you think?
Yeah, about the same. I think Ige probably wins round 1 just because Kattar can take his time to get his shit sorted.
Yeah.
Taking a 5-rounder.
He performed well in round 1, just like on the stats even.
I've got Kattar in various overs at like +1. I think +105 starts around 3 and Kattar wins, and +150 starts around 4 and Kattar wins.
Yeah.
Yeah, like those. I think live betting wise, you'd probably like if I was to play Kattar, I'd wait like 5-6 minutes.
Yeah.
I think you could probably be able to get him at a better price than -300.
Ige will come out hard too. That's just what he does. Yeah.
And he throws leg kicks. Like Ige seems reasonably smart too. Like against Barboza, he knew he had the pressure.
He seems smart, but like he's actually only landed double-digit leg kicks one time, and it was against who was it? Arce. And in that fight, like his leg kicks just don't seem impactful. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't look like he's like really skillful with them. Like Moicano can. He just looks extremely proficient as like a damaging leg kicker. And I just don't think Ige has the leg kick power to really make it be a thing, you know?
Yeah. Ige KO1's like +2000, which I was kind of looking at. I don't know. I think Ige's got about 2 hours, got about 7 minutes to win this, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Kattar just pulls ahead pretty hard, but I think there's a decent chance Ige gets enough done early to maybe pick up a scorecard or 2.
Yeah, like he would. Yeah, I do. It could happen because honestly, like he might. Like I almost favor him to win round 1. You know,
or
like
I do.
It could happen. Like either guy can win round 1, but like he has a really good chance to win round 1, and and he's tough, and that's not good when you probably think a guy's going to get around in a 5-round fight. What you could see being a 5-round fight, but the head strike metrics are just telling me Kattar's going to beat him up. But Kattar does also seem to have like pretty awesome cardio. You know, like he carries power late, and I feel like a 5-round fight actually helps him.
Yeah, I think Cad just pulls way down the stretch. If I was betting Cad, I'd wait a bit to get him at a slightly better price. And I feel like if Ige's going to win, it's probably going to be in the first round. So you're probably not getting a worse price after 5 minutes. And if you get the same price, you're probably in the better position. If you get a better price, you might as well hit it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much my main thing. I think Ige will hang tough for a bit. I feel like Cad is just a lot deeper and
Yeah.
I can't see many.
Bigger too.
I think Ige will put up a decent innings. Like I don't think Ige will embarrass himself.
No.
But I also don't think he can win this fight at a particular major club.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think of like the over-unders and fight doesn't go the distance and all that?
I like the middle overs. I just feel like the later again depends how hard Ige comes out. I think Cade is very responsive to what you give him.
Yeah.
Like against Stevens, he realised he needed the bite in the mouthpiece.
Yeah.
But he's got 5 rounds here, so maybe he won't be as urgent. And then he gets like, Kato has finished Fishgold, Lamas, and Stevens in the UFC. I kind of feel the shot he killed Stevens with, I don't think he lands like ever again. Like that was an incredible shot.
Yeah, that was insane.
That's knockout the other me. I just don't think he can land. He's going to land one of those. Lamas was just kind of old and just went down off the standard straight, and Fishgold kind of forced him to.
Yeah.
Same with Burgos. Again, but the issue is Ige will probably come out pretty hard. So like it depends. I think he'll sort of take whatever pace Ige gives him.
Yeah.
If Ige's willing to not do much, I think Kato won't finish. If Ige comes at him, I think Kato finishes.
Yeah. The under
And it's hard.
under 4.5.
It's hard to say with tempo.
145. Like I can't like just when I first thought of it, I just kind of thought like this was gonna finish, But
Still featherweight.
yeah, it's still featherweight, and I honestly don't think either guy can get a sub here. So it's like, and I don't know. Like I feel like Ige, like a standing knockout, probably doesn't. Like I guess it could happen, but it probably won't happen. So it's really you're just kind of relying on Kattar getting the K. Like Kattar getting the KO is your main weapon for the under.
It's minus 105, so it's priced accordingly.
I mean, pretty much, yeah. But
I mean, plus 1100 for Ige KO feels wide to me. I just feel they're going to trade at some point.
Yeah.
Like that's what implied 6 times more likely Kato KOs him. What's no scorecards? No scorecards is plus 250, but just KO line versus KO line. It's minus 105 versus like plus 1100.
Yeah.
So they're essentially saying that like Kattar knocking out Ige 6 times more like than Ige knocking out Kattar, which feels off to me.
It's probably a little bit off, but I do think it like he's significantly more likely to get a KO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to start measuring like KOs, but
Striking.
Yeah, it's still striking for sure. Like shit happens, but
actually, honestly, think about this. This reminds me a lot of Hooker versus Poirier, where I'm pretty sure Ige competes for at least 10 minutes, but like maybe the Qatar late rounds are guaranteed enough that like it's not their value anyway. But also like I don't think Ige's not going to get washed. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think Kattar eventually pulls away, but I don't see any value in his line. But all right, I'm gonna go. I'm fucking exhausted right now. I'm like
it's all good.
At this point, but we'll do our next one for Saturday. Probably on like Friday or something, just because I feel like we both have to research. I'm actually mostly research on that card because I was more interested in that card than this card. But cool. I'll talk to you in a couple days.
All right, nice chat. All right, I'll chuck you the link. All right, all good. Gotcha.
Yeah.